Hi, I'm Milton Rendell and welcome to Real News Friday. Another busy week, a fair bit happening out there, another 882 sales in the previous week or last week. Stock levels still now over the 9,000 mark at 9,026. Now that's only down 17% on the amount of stock there was 12 months ago. Keeping in mind we were well down sort of around that 7,000 and less mark only a short while ago. So we're starting to get a bit of a fill up of stock again, which is an interesting statistic. And I think in this 9 to 10,000 mark, we'll still maintain a fairly good market, but also give buyers an opportunity to secure some sales. But we seem to be floating around that 8 to 900 sales per week, and that's been fairly consistent for some time. Now, in terms of rentals out there's 2,839 properties available. That's down 32% on what it was a year ago. So there's a little bit more stock come back in the last few months, but it's still a very, very healthy market. Now, the interesting part this week, there was an article on, if you go to rewa.com.au and you have a look at, they're talking about a lot of rentals are still under the peak of what they were in 2012. Now, you remember 2012, that was pretty well the peak of the market. Economy was red hot, everything was red hot. You just about sell anything and people paying through the nose for rents. They're still saying there's 235 suburbs that are under what they were at the peak in terms of rent returns. Now, once again, they were at ridiculously high rates. So some areas are still 10% under that. There's other suburbs which are still as low as 32% under those figures that were occurring in 2012. We have seen movement in rents on the way up. We have seen that around Midland and through Swan View into the hills. Suburbs do vary from depending on demand. We're still getting good inquiry overall, and we're finding most properties when they do go to let at the moment are being let in a reasonable period. In other words, within probably 1 to 2 weeks, which is really good for the landlords and for those thinking about getting into real estate in terms of investing. That's also a good sign if you are thinking about investing, because that obviously you want rents coming in as quick as possible. So if you are to buy a property, it should be good inquiry straight up, and we should have good results overall. Just some feedback from our Hills offices. They have been quite busy. The inquiry rates are still very, very high. Stock levels are still a bit of a struggle, but there has been an increase in land inquiry in the Hills, particularly up through the Gidgegunnup area, and we have seen quite a bit of inquiry improve in that area, particularly in the last 6 to 8 weeks. Whether people are just going further out, we're not too sure. But we're certainly getting inquiry in areas at which we were getting very, very low to no inquiry compared to, say, 2 years ago. So, again, the Hills is probably a lifestyle people now are looking at more than probably previously. Don't get me wrong, it's always been a popular lifestyle, but with the number of people now working from home, they are looking further out than they were previously. There are a lot of occupations now that people do spend a fair percentage of time at home, so they're looking at lifestyle decisions in terms of where they live and where they can work at the same time. So we are seeing some shifts in the marketplace. There's some shifts in the demands and what they're interested in, say, compared to 3 to 5 years ago. Now, the COVID obviously has influenced us in different ways, and I would say how people work and where they work from home has been influenced probably more than anything else. Our finance guys, again, are still busy, and our settlement agency, Sam and the team, plus your settlement, have been extremely busy, and we see that continuing through July and August, and we're expecting it still to be busy through till September in terms of settlements. So plenty happening within the group. And the last of all, talking to our commercial guy Mike the other day, Real Estate Plus Commercial Industrial, they were absolutely flat out, busiest we've ever seen in the whole 20 odd years that we've been running Real Estate Plus Commercial, and that's really good encouraging signs for local businesses in and around Midland. So plenty of good positive signs still occurring. So I think this will continue to roll to the end of the year, and then certainly we'll look on to 2022 pretty positively. In the meantime, check out realestateplus.com.au.